There's never been a better time to have SiriusXM. With even more exclusive content, with over 150 channels in your vehicle, including the widest, deepest variety of music, ad-free. Root for your team. Get news. Listen to whatever makes you laugh. And hear all about your favorite stars. Your Platinum Plan offer includes more than ever before to enjoy online, on your phone, or at home. Create your own ad-free personalized stations powered by Pandora. Hear ad-free extra channels filled with music and enjoy favorite shows with SiriusXM Video. Thousands of hours of shows and performances on demand. What you love is on now.
So obviously, if you're watching this, you're aware of the SiriusXM brand and you're aware of the services and our partnership with CMA Networks. But how up to date are you in maximizing what SiriusXM can do for you from a sales perspective each and every time you upgrade a radio for your customer? On today's CMA workshop, we've got product experts Lima from SiriusXM Canada, as well as Paul Trueman from SiriusXM USA, who are in the studio with us to train you on updating you on how to maximize all your sales when it comes to SiriusXM. This is CMA Workshop, SiriusXM, and it starts now. All right, everybody, thanks for tuning in to this CMA workshop. I'm your host, Ben Wu. So if you're tuning in, I hope you're ready to learn, because that is what workshop is all about. We have some product experts in the studio today that really help you hone your skills and give you all the information and training you need to know to best succeed this season. On the menu is, of course, SiriusXM, a brand known for its incredible content, but also its very simple integration when it comes to upgrading a customer's car stereo, especially the head units. The SXV300, of course, anybody who's tuning into this was probably very familiar. But are you familiar with all the tactics involved with how to best maximize those profits, as well as all the tools at play, as well as offers that you can communicate to your customer? Well, that's what we're going to find out today in depth. So without further ado, let's go ahead and invite our resident experts to the studio. First, I'd like to invite Mr. Lima, representing SiriusXM Canada, and then followed by Paul Trueman from SiriusXM USA, Senior Sales Director. Come on in, guys. Gentlemen.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. I hope that little preview intro fit the bill, because I think I nailed it on the head based on the preview that I saw, that dealers today may just not have the entire picture or the tools or maybe the training necessary to fully maximize the opportunity that you guys are offering them.
Yeah, 100%. And with the intro too, product experts may not be the right label, only because it's not about just the product. Really, the product is the key to the content, right? So, we are trained on the product side, but it's really about the content. But yeah, also exactly what you said, Ben. It's all about not leaving money on the table, right? Is making sure that the dealers maximize their profitability, and also ensuring that the customers maximize all the benefits from a service perspective, and from a programming perspective.
100%. So I guess let's kind of get caught up. It's been a minute since you guys have been on. Ricky, I'll start with you. Obviously, travel has returned. How has it been finally being able to get out there and connect directly in person with a couple of dealers that maybe you've been to a show or two?
Yeah, I have been traveling over the last couple of weeks, and I will tell you, it's been I've explained this to a few people internally. It's been invigorating just to be able to get out on the road, do face-to-face training with dealers, with distributors. You cannot replace that with virtual. Virtual is great, and everything that we've done here with CMA is phenomenal, and will continue to maximize every effort here on what we do with CMA. but being able to build those relationships face to face, there's no replacing it. And being able to travel out west was great, meeting some key dealers and distributors out there. It's been phenomenal, and also because of our alignment now and our partnership with SiriusXM US, being able to go into the US and work alongside Paul and some of the distributors and dealers that they work with only adds to the knowledge that I continue to expand on.
Absolutely. And Paul, obviously, you're no stranger to the show circuit, we'll call it. We see your presence is felt and seen at every show. Obviously, that's probably amped up a little bit for you as well, hasn't it? And how's that been?
It's been absolutely brilliant. I mean, being able to get out, doing the Knowledge Fest, doing the distributor shows, just going to people's locations. I mean, being able to do that rather than picking up a phone and trying to, carry on business, it's just such a different atmosphere. You're able to go into locations, you talk to not only the people you deal with every single day, but you get introduced to new people. There's so much turnover and new hires out in the shops and at all the locations today that, they have no idea who we are. And by going in, you're absolutely, introducing yourself. And hopefully every time you leave, you just leave one or two tidbits of knowledge that help them do a better job or help them make more money. And at the same time, we benefit because we get subscribers from it.
Absolutely. Now, you guys both keyed in on one thing, and that is, getting that rapport in person obviously is invaluable, but there's a message that's being, delivered in person. And that is what we're here to do today, is to tell them and educate them on not only the entire program. There's a couple elements that we have here that we'll be discussing today. But first of all, from a profitability standpoint, there is a clear message that needs to be delivered, Ricky.
Yeah. I think now, with everything that we've gone through in the last couple of years and with, challenges on the supply chain side and inventory starting to roll back in, and dealers are starting to ramp up their business again, which has been great. I think profitability now is ever more important. And when you take a look at all the different things that are available to you, when you've got a customer in your shop, you have to run through everything to increase your profitability, including adding SiriusXM to as many head unit installations as possible. Because again, profitability is key. Every little bit, and I come from a service industry too. I worked in restaurants for many, many years. And, if somebody's asking you for a steak and you want to, upsell them on the mushrooms, and you want to, if they're ordering a beer, you want to upsell them on the bigger size. It's all about upsell. It's all about presenting the customer with everything and making sure that they're educated so they get the best, as well as increasing their profitability for the dealer.
And, I mean, sorry, I was just going to say, Paul, that must be clutch when you're talking to some of these retail guys, especially the guys on the floor that are visiting your booth at these shows as well.
Yeah, I think the big thing for us is, for lack of a better example, is give the customer the chance to say no. Don't wait for the customer to walk in and say, hey, do you have SiriusXM? Because we're really the only add-on accessory to a head unit or even a vehicle that doesn't have SiriusXM that you don't trade dollars for. When someone comes in and looks for a head unit or speakers or amplifiers, you're either going to show them this brand, or this brand. Now, Ricky and I, we like to believe that we work for the best satellite radio company. I'm sure there are many other options out there, but we just don't trade dollars. I mean, we're basically a perfect add-on to where you're not going to, trade dollars for any other category. So it really is a great way to make additional money or profit with the customers that are walking in and with the head units you have in stock. So.
Absolutely. Again, I think that theme is maximizing the sale, which I think we're going to see a lot today. So if you notice the show title, there's a new term that I'm new to that I'd like to learn a little bit more about. Can you give us an overview of what SXM University is all about, Ricky?
Yeah, I mean, this is a page out of the SiriusXM US playbook, which we have been able to bring in now into the Canadian market. But it's really about education. We can try to deliver as much information as possible when we're meeting with dealers or when things that we ship to their stores. But it's really all about education, and it's all about resources and having that at your fingertips. And SXM University is going to be able to provide people with that platform so they can get their learn on, so they can get the resources that they need, and some additional benefits to it. We'll be running contests every month and every quarter to to incentivize dealers for making sure that they continue to stay educated.
Mm-hmm. From what you just said there, Ricky, this has already been a program that has been successful in the U.S., Paul?
Yeah, we launched it earlier this year, and Ricky will go into more detail in it, but it is a great way to get, especially like I mentioned earlier, with the turnover and new hires and people coming in, it's a great way to spend 10, 15 minutes to kind of understand what's going on with SiriusXM, and with the chance to win something at the same time. So, it's a great tool, because obviously Ricky and I can't be everywhere all at the same time. So it's a great start to get an understanding of what's going on.
Well, I'm sure we're going to cover that in the presentation today. So last but not least, before we get to it, can you give us, Ricky, an overview of what we're about to learn today?
And we've done a bunch of training sessions, Ben, and met with a lot of dealers and presented a lot of things over the last, different sessions that we worked on, Connecteds and Lives. And it's always been about the product roadmap, and it's been about the training and the promotions, but we're really going to dive deep into the key elements of what SiriusXM is offering to the customer. And I think it's ever more important for the dealers and the sales reps and even the installers to be fully aware of what's available, right? So we're going to run through, diving into the service offer and the flow of how easy it is for a customer to activate. We're going to go through the $80 rebate that's available for the customer, as well as how easy it is through the flow. We're going to touch on streaming and some of my favorite aspects of the streaming side. And then we'll touch on the POS materials, and then we'll run into the e-learning, and then we'll wrap up with some sales tips that will be helpful for the dealers as they're talking to their customers.
Amazing. All right, so we're going to get set up for you and Paul to take this over. I want to remind people, obviously, if you're interested in SiriusXM and you're watching this and you want to go through, make sure you go to the website. There's a couple different links we can throw up here. For more information, you want to visit SiriusXM.ca/2ways-to-save. Is probably the way you want to go for the Canadian side, if I'm not mistaken. And something very similar in the US side is SiriusXM.com/save-your-way. So there you go. There's where you need to be. We'll set you guys up and we'll get our learn on in this edition of CMA Workshop. SiriusXM, take away, Ricky and Paul.
Thanks
awesome,
very much.
Thanks. So next slide, which I believe is just the agenda, which we talked about some of the things that we're going to be covering off. We'll talk a little bit about the SXV300, but again, we don't need to go into too much detail on the product side, because I think we've run through this, and the dealers and the audience, everybody knows what the SXV300 does. But again, the benefits of our service offer, the flows, the streaming, the POS materials that we've sent out to all the dealers, as well as the e-learning that we touched on, and close out with some sales tips. So next slide. Again, from a product perspective, and I know, Ben, you introduced us as product experts, but the product really is the vehicle to the content. And there's no better way, in my opinion, to access our content in the cleanest solution possible, and closest to an OEM solution you're going to get, which is adding the SXV300 to a aftermarket head unit, because then it's fully integrated. There's no additional devices or anything hanging on your dash or on your vent clips. So it's the closest to an integrated solution as you're going to get. And then again, the benefits of adding that tuner to the customers are getting their choice of the service offer, which we'll run through, as well as the $80 rebate that's available. And then some of the benefits that come with adding that tuner include features like pause, rewind, replay, being able to start the song right from the beginning with the tune start feature, tune mix, which is allowing you to shuffle through different of your favorite channels. So it's basically creating a custom channel for you, and as well as some of the different alerts like song and artists and teams that are coming up. And really, it all comes down to the partnerships as well. Like I only have a few manufacturers that I've listed here below in JVC, Kenwood, Pioneer, Alpine, and Sony, but there are so many more partners that we deal with, partners that have been featured on the CMA platform, anywhere from power sports to car audio. So we work with so many different brands across North America to be able to deliver this clean and integrated solution to customers across North America. Anything else to add there, Paul?
Yeah, I was going to say that the two things that are absolutely key to this is in a location, you spend all the time putting head units, amps, speakers on display. One of the top tips that we have is actually having a tuner set up for a demo. Being able to actually demonstrate the 300 through one of our partners' head units is a huge advantage, especially, number one, to be able to sell it, actually have music playing in the store, but at the same time to show the features that Ricky just mentioned with the tune start, meaning, every song starts from the beginning when you go to the presets. But because the tuner is actually buffering up to an hour on all the presets, when you go to, let's say, your 6 favorite channels and you're not happy with one of the 6 songs on there, you then, if you've been driving for at least an hour, you're able to just go back on that channel for the last hour and find something you do want to listen to. So you've basically, after an hour driving, have 6 hours of programming at your fingertips. So,
well said, Paul. Well said. And again, just being able to add this category does not trade dollars with anybody else. So really important that this offer and this add-on to all the SiriusXM ready head units is front and center to all the customers. So we'll run into the next slide here, which is really touching on what's in it for the customer. And I think it's super important that dealers, installers, everybody that is representing all these different brands, head units, and obviously SiriusXM is fully aware of what SiriusXM has to offer, because once that customer goes out the window or out the door, it's really about what are the next steps for them. And from a service perspective, no better way to give a customer the best experience possible with SiriusXM than giving them our highest tier service platform that we have available, which is our Platinum tier. And this year we launched something new. So over the last few years, we've been constantly sticking to the same offer of 3 months of free Platinum, 3 months of free Platinum. And we noticed over the years that not everybody was always taking that 3 months free. There were different offers that were available, longer term offers. And what we decided to do this year is something different, which is provide the customers with choice. And this year we launched the new service offer, which is you choose, you save, giving the customers the flexibility of either choosing their first 3 months free or 12 months for $99. And just to put that into perspective, 12 months for $99, they don't pay for the full year up front. They pay on a monthly basis, $825 a month. The standard rate for our Platinum service is $22.99. So right away, the savings from $22.99 down to $825. That is a tremendous savings to the customer, especially, now where things, are getting a little bit tight in the market. Things are a little bit more expensive. Gas prices are going up. The cost of groceries, everything continues to go up. So being able to provide that savings to the customer and educating them on what they can get out of the gate is super important here. So again, with this package, you're getting over 350 channels, including 160 in their vehicle, and then access to everything they have on the app. And then the sports, the talk, the entertainment, everything that we have available, Stern, Pandora stations, and then the video library that we have available, and podcasts as well is something that we'll touch on as well. But really important that everybody's fully aware of this service offer, because this is what the customers presented. So now I want to go into a little bit of the flow on how easy it is for a customer to receive this offer. So next slide. There's 2 ways that a customer can activate their radio. They can always call into the call center, and we have that. You can see here on this page, they can call our toll-free number. in Canada, which is 1-888-539-7474. The numbers is different on the US side, but really to make the best experience possible for the customer and make it easy and fast to activate that radio, you want to send them to this page, which is SiriusXM.ca/you choose, you save. And the reason being is this is a direct link to the activation flow to make it so easy for the customer. And you see there's the activation button that we have circled, and that takes you to the next page where they're going to enter their radio ID. So everybody knows where to find the radio ID. It's listed on channel 0 typically on the screen once the radio is installed. But with the SXV300, even before it's installed, if you go to the back of the device, you can see the radio ID is listed there right by the barcode. That is all that the customer needs to get the activation flow going. And that is all they need to get this offer. They enter their radio ID and there's nothing else for them to do. We do not require a promo code for this offer. All the devices are ready to go. As soon as they leave the factory, we get those radios. We brand all these devices to the service offer to make it easy for the customer. So once they enter their radio ID and hit continue, it takes them to the next page, which is their plan selection page. Next slide. So as you can see here, this is kind of split screen, but obviously you're going to see it all in one flow. We present the customer with two offers. The top offer is the 12 months for $825 per month, or $99 is what it works out to. That is the front and center offer. And the reason being is because, one, it is the bigger saver too. If you do the math between 12 months for $99 or 3 months free, there is a bigger savings on the 1-year term. And again, you want to stretch out that savings as much as possible, especially now where things are getting a little bit more expensive. The 1-year term is definitely the one that customers should be taking advantage of. They can certainly take advantage of 3 months free. But again, this flow is so simple. All they need to do is select the term that they want. And then when they go to the next page, next slide. Sorry, I missed that part. So once they select their service term, all they're doing is putting in their information. They're laying down a credit card for renewal purposes, and the activation signal, once they hit submit, the activation signal gets sent directly to that device. From a rebate perspective, we want to also talk about and highlight this flow too, which again is super important for the customer, because the same way that a dealer, by not presenting the SXV300 as an add-on to that head unit, is leaving money on the table, this is leaving money on the table for the customer if they're not aware of this rebate offer. And again, how easy it is for the customer to take advantage of this offer. This is something with the activation as well as the rebate flow here. These are tools that you can use if you want, as a dealer, to provide that service for the customer while they're waiting for their vehicle. They can do this in the store with you. You can easily take them to the flow. They can do it on their phone, and once they have that tuner installed, ready to go, they're driving off with service working. From a rebate flow perspective, again, to show you how easy it is, you want to go to SiriusXM.ca/rebate80, and again, it takes you to this page where you select the first button you see, which is get this offer, and then that takes you into the submission flow, which is on the next slide. And again, just how easy it is. Customers are going to be putting in their information, especially since they're at the dealer, the car audio dealer right there. They're going to be able to have access to the receipt that they can print off and take a picture of right away, because that is what is for the submission. They enter the radio ID, which we talked about how easy it is for you to find. And then you select and accept the terms and conditions. And then all you need to do is submit. And then that is basically it for the rebate. And the rebate, again, is paid 60 days after service has begun. So if you're able to and have the time to walk through this flow with your customers while they are there, it's going to save them the time and efforts of having to do this on their own, or once they leave and they have to do both of these at home, to help them and walk them through these 2 steps while they're there certainly is going to add that experience for the customer. And then again, all they have to do is drive off and start enjoying SiriusXM.
Yeah, so those definitely. I was just going to jump in, Ricky, and say this is probably one of those things that really enhances the customer experience at your location, because number one, you've obviously already sold the SiriusXM tuner, so let's get them taking advantage of the rebate. But at the same time, as an experience, the customer is now leaving the location knowing that my rebate is done, knowing that I got it, I've got my $80 coming. And at the same time, leaving the shop, that it's working because you've got all the channels there, and your customer's leaving with the experience of their new head unit and their SXV 300, and not just listening to the preview channel going, okay, when I get home, I've got to do this. There's something else I've got to do. So overall, your customer experience is so much better, and your customers will absolutely love you for this.
Yeah, and they will certainly remember the steps that you took to enhance that experience for them. So again, it's so easy. Doesn't mean that everybody listening in, when you have a customer, you have to go through these flows. No, the whole point here though is to show you how easy it is to activate a radio and submit for the rebate. It takes minutes to do, and those minutes enhances that experience for the customer. And once they get that rebate, that gratification of this program brings it all full circle, and they're going to be happier, and they will certainly remember the services that you provided and the education that you provided them too. So that's it for the 2 flows for the activation and the rebate. Once you're complete, you have access to everything that SiriusXM has to offer, and we've covered a lot of this in some of our previous training sessions, and a lot of this is available on SiriusXM.ca and SiriusXM.com. But with access to our subscription for in-vehicle and for streaming, you get so much content that's available for you, whether you're a music buff, whether you're into sports, talk, entertainment, you're a Howard Stern fan, you're into comedy, whatever it is, we have something for you. There's no denying that. And all the access to this content is really right at your fingertips. Anything to add here, Paul?
Yeah, and not like, when you go to Hair Nation or First Wave or BPM, there's not just the artist recordings that, you would hear if you had just the MP3 of it. Perfect example, in a couple of weeks, we're doing a live broadcast from a Whiskey Go-Go out in Hollywood, California, where Def Leppard's doing a private event or a private concert for us. And we're going to broadcast that. So it's not just listening to Def Leppard Pour Some Sugar on Me for the 3,200th time you've heard it on Hair Nation. You're actually hearing it live in a brand new event. And that's what really makes SiriusXM stand out when it comes to the programming.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So again, all this content available for the customers, and it's really key here on the streaming side. We really highlight and educate to the customer what comes with their subscription, because traditionally when people have thought about SiriusXM, they thought about that experience in the vehicle, and we are slowly starting to help customers and our subscribers really take advantage of their full subscription by taking their experience outside of their vehicle. And the streaming service that we have now compared to what we had originally launched and where our service has evolved to from the streaming perspective is certainly tremendous. Lots of features here that are available, like extra channels, taking some of the channels that Paul talked about and creating variations of them. So for instance, if you're an 80s fan, and we have a channel called 80s Workout, just as one example. So lots of content here available, variations of some of our most popular channels, personalized stations by Pandora, which we're going to review. Video, again, started off with Howard Stern, but now there's so much video content available on the SiriusXM platform. Being able to see some performances in studio, some of the performances that Paul touched on, all of this available from a video perspective is huge. And then the podcast, which we'll talk about.
Yeah, not only that, I mean, even though we're doing live events and most of those are videoed. In fact, I believe all of them are. But we just have cameras in all of our studios. So if an artist or someone's coming in to promote something, we're videoing those interviews. So you might hear it on hits one, and they might be interviewing someone in the morning, but you can always go back and actually see that video on the app if you at a later time, because we would never recommend doing that while driving.
Good points. Good points. So now
Safety
I'm really
first.
safety first.
Yes.
You're such a caring individual, Paul.
I try and give as much as I can. It's just a trait I have.
So I wanted to highlight a couple of key features here. We had the option of trying to do a live demo, but I think showing these screenshots really going to make it simple for you. These two features that we're going to run through right now on our streaming platform really take the experience for the customer and for yourself to the next level. I can tell you and attest to this, and Paul can say this, he'll say the same thing. The Pandora stations that are available to you that you can create over 100 of these, that's not part of the channel count, really takes your listening experience to the next level. So with the acquisition of Pandora, it was 2 or 3 years back, we benefited from that acquisition by being able to take the Pandora engine. What makes it so unique and popular in the US is currently not available in Canada as a standalone service, but the features and benefits and that algorithm is built into now to the SiriusXM app that you can enjoy Pandora stations through SiriusXM. And how easy it is for you, here's the flow. All you got to do is, once you launch the app, with the credentials that come with your subscription, is you're going to hit search. That's in the first screen on the left. Then in the middle screen, as an example, I typed in Depeche Mode. And you can see you have some results here below from the 90s, top 100. But then anything that says Pandora station, and this goes with all your searches that you put in. If it says Pandora station and you click on that, you have now created a Depeche Mode channel for you. And I say for you because you have full customization now on this to really create that, create the listening experience for you. And I say that because you see on the far right at the bottom, I've got that section circled where you can thumb up and thumb down or move forward to the next song, so that you are creating that customized channel for you. If you thumb down a song, you will never hear that song on that channel again. And the more you thumb up, the more you integrate with this, with these features, it's going to customize and enhance that channel specifically for you. I personally let the majority of the channels run. Unless I really, really, really don't like a song, I'll thumb it down. For the most part, I just let these channels run, and I can tell you that the playlists on these are amazing. I just came off of working a show with Paul a couple of weeks ago in the US. We had a Pandora station playing all day, multiple Pandora stations playing all day, just due to the fact that the satellite service where we were was not available. But those channels, this is a feature that I cannot speak more highly of. And managing your channels that you create, again, you can create over 100 of these. On the next slide, it'll show you exactly where you need to go in the settings to see all the Pandora channels that you've created, and to access them all, you go to Manage Pandora Stations. And there on the right is where you'll see all the stations that you've created. And on the top right is if you wanted to delete any of these, you can hit edit and you'll be able to delete any of the channels that you've currently created.
Another question that comes up a lot is, well, I've got Pandora already. Can I transfer my current stations over? And the answer is no. It's because it is actually on the SiriusXM platform. But the one thing to know about this is, because it's part of your subscription with your SXV 300, these are also all ad-free as well. So when you're going through your channels, you're never going to get the commercials or the ads that you would get on a free Pandora platform.
Yeah, and on our music side, on SiriusXM, and those that are familiar with listening to the satellite service in your vehicle, all of our music is 100% commercial free. We commercial free on the music. We do have interstitials that come up every once in a while, such as you're listening to the coffee house, or sometimes on some channels you actually have personalities, like on 80s on 8, you've got Mark Goodman, you've got Alan Hunter as an example, who will come on and provide some additional dialogue on basically what you're listening to. Again, these are ad-free, like Paul said. Ad-free, interruption-free mean all you get is music content, nothing else. The one thing that I forgot to mention too is on the previous slide, you can actually, when you create a Pandora station, you can, on the top right, if you hit the star, now you've created it as a favorite, and that will be quick access to your favorite channel. So on the far right there, it's not circled, but on the top right-hand side, you'll see there's a little star that you can select, so that now you've created it as a favorite, and it'll be easy access for you once you relaunch the app again. So that's the features of the Pandora stations, and then we'll quickly touch on the podcast. Again, benefiting from the acquisition of Stitcher, we were able to bring podcasts now into the SiriusXM platform, and it's front and center. Once you launch the app, on the left, you'll see podcasts right there in blue. Here's an example of selecting one of the podcasts that are available. Some of these podcasts are SiriusXM exclusive, and other ones are just brought in from the platform. But if, for instance, if you select the 80s here, it's going to give you a list of all the podcasts that are currently available. All of this is on demand. And the beauty of this, on the next page, is the fact that you can download these onto the device and listen to them offline. So very easy to use, and to manage your downloads, if you've downloaded a bunch of these and you want to delete them, simply go to your settings, manage downloads. You'll have a list of everything that you've created, and then there is where you manage all your downloads and delete what you don't need to listen to anymore. Anything, Paul? Anything to add there?
The only other thing with the app is in the settings, you also have the ability, it's not listed on here, but in the settings feature, which is down there on the bottom row, there's also an option to go in and change the audio quality of the app itself. So it comes with a standard, you have better, and of course the best quality as well. And one of my recommendations or top tips is always change it to the best quality. Just, you might as well.
Yep. Okay, so that really covers off the two, great features that we have available on our streaming platform. And again, being able to take that experience out of the vehicle using the app is tremendous. On top of that, the options to be able to listen to at home, whether it's on a computer, whether it's on a smart TV, on Sonos or Roku, or even using the voice assist functionality on Google and Amazon devices, really helps that customer take that experience to the next level. And the more you listening in, watching, and even your customers use SiriusXM on a daily basis in and out of the vehicle, you will get addicted, and you will also, it'll become a part of your lifestyle, and also being able to take advantage and full benefits of the subscription that you have. So next slide. So now we're going to run through some of the POS materials, and we've shared this before. The majority of you watching probably have received this already. We try to develop useful materials for your showroom to really highlight what you offer as a dealer of SiriusXM, and to be able to promote everything that is available to the customer. This one here is a window cling that we produced. Again, there's two for the Canadian. What we're showing here are the Canadian materials. The U.S. materials are very similar, but we've included a couple of window clings in that box for you, so that you can put it on your front door. So when people walk in, they can see right away that you have SiriusXM available, and they see right away that there's a promotional offer that they may end up asking you about as they're selecting their head unit. Next slide. From a car audio wall perspective, we created a couple of pieces available. One is something that we've included in the past in previous kits, which is on the right side, a dangler that you can put onto the your car audio wall next to a SiriusXM Ready head unit. But the one on the left is something that we've never created before, but is certainly a useful one for your car audio wall. If you've got an area where you're missing a head unit and you've got a nice little round hole and you want to cover it up with something, this is the best signage that you have available, especially if you're supporting SiriusXM, because this now shows the customer and gives them access to where they need to go to activate and get their service offer, as well as the $80 rebate. And again, such a great tool, this one here, whether you put it on the car audio wall or whether you put it somewhere else, I highly recommend that you have this front and center and available to the customers if they select to add, and after you've pitched the SXV300 as an add-on to their head unit and talked about the benefits of the service offer and the $80 rebate, you want them to take out their phone and scan that barcode, because that takes you to our 2 ways to save page where they can activate the radio and submit for the rebate. Next slide. And then lastly here, we're going to talk about this 3-page laminated ring booklet, which is a great resource for you. You can show some of this to your customers, but the last page is more relevant for you. But this shows the latest channel guide, so you have reference to what is currently available from a satellite and streaming perspective. And then the next slide is showing you our standard packages, highlighting in the center our you choose, you save offer of, again, 3 months free or 12 months for $99. And then lastly, this SiriusXM or SXM University tool that we just launched that Ben alluded to in the beginning of the show that we'll run through right now. So SXM University, again, a great tool, something that launched in the US, and then we created the same platform for Canada, for Canadian dealers. And again, such a great resource here. And it's very simple. By scanning the barcode that's on that last page of the 3-ring booklet, it's going to take you to this SXM University page, where all you need to do, first and foremost, if you've never created an account, you're going to want to sign up to create your profile. And once you complete that profile, for Canadian dealers, you're going to want to ensure that after you've entered your information, your email, your password, you're going to want to select Canada. Unless if you're a US dealer, you're going to want to select US. If you're a Canadian dealer, you're going to make sure that you select Canada. Language, you're going to want to select English or French, and then your company name. Once you hit sign up, you're going to get a confirmation email. And then once you click on that, that's going to take you to this page where you have access to 2 areas of importance. One on the left, which is My Courses, and the one on the right, which is Resources. We'll quickly touch on both. Next slide. My Courses, this is where any new modules that are available for you from a training perspective is where you're going to want to complete. You'll see here, this is my profile. I've already completed the e-learning, but you'll see any modules that are available to you that have not been completed. You can go ahead and complete them. I completed mine in 15 minutes, but that's because I get easily distracted. I have to walk away to do other things. It could take you probably 10 minutes to complete. And in 10 minutes...
And this just goes to show how easy it is, because Ricky was actually able to complete it.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. But you're absolutely do it. Anybody can do it. but honestly, in 10 minutes of running through this training, you're going to get the relevant pieces of information that you need to know about SiriusXM, so that you can better speak to the SiriusXM brand and its content that is available when you're talking to your customer and getting them to add the SXV300. So that's the My Courses section. The other great area here is the Resources section, which currently has, you'll see 2 areas, the USA and the Canada assets. So for Canadian dealers listening in, you're going to want to go to the Canada assets in that next slide. and you'll see there that there's French assets if you're a French dealer. But right there for English dealers, you're going to see the materials that we have front and center. This is what we have available today, which is electronic versions of all the POS materials that we have sent to your store, as well as the channel guide. And again, all this stuff will be updated as major changes come about, and product training sheets. So whether it's the SXV300 or any of our dock and play radios that are available, you'll find all these product training sheets available. And again, available in English and French for both English and French dealers here in Canada. And this is something that we will continue to expand on as we create things like ad mats or social media posts. Anything that is relevant and will be useful for you is going to be available on the resources page. So I encourage everybody listening in, whether you are a dealer, whether you are an installer, whether you are a brand or a manufacturer, anybody can take this training. And the beauty of it is once you've completed, you're registered for monthly and quarterly draws that we're going to be sending out gift cards directly to the winners. So that's it from a training perspective. With this last piece here, I'm going to let Paul run through this. And it's really highlighting some of the sales steps and helpful tips that will benefit you as a dealer when you're talking to your customer.
Yeah, I think the most important thing to remember when selling or pitching SiriusXM is not to wait for customers to come in and say, hey, do you have SiriusXM? I think when you're having an actual process of selling a customer head unit, you have to sit there and think about what features this head unit has and show all the benefits. I mentioned earlier to make sure you have a unit or an actual unit actually playing in live. That's key, because when a customer comes in and you're selling the head unit, you might as well have something to actually play on it and be able to show the SiriusXM there. And just ask customers what they listen to, because there's a good chance we already have that on one of the channels. Have some presets. You're great there. Tune to the channels, let them listen to it. And obviously, this is just sales 101. Say, look, today is actually the best time to add SiriusXM since we're installing the head unit for you right now. Okay. And if we do install it for you right now, there's also an $80 rebate on it. You get the 3 months free, or you can pick, the first year for $99. Go through and actually pitch the offers. I mean, you're talking less than 2 minutes to make additional money. And of course, here's my, my infomercial sales, pitch. Here's the best part. You also get to use it in the house. Forgetting to tell your customers that SiriusXM is not only in the car, but it's also in the house on your portable devices and things like that is a big miss, because you're not showing the full value of it. And of course, just ask for the sale today. Just ask for it. Give the customer the chance to say no. And if they say no, well, you tried, but I guarantee you will sell more of them if you promote the offer, promote the programming offer, and actually have one on display and have it working. And that's my pitch there.
Yeah. And just to close off on those comments, you can't sell what you don't have. So make sure that you have inventory on hand. If you're just ordering based on when a customer asks for it, again, it's money that you're leaving on the table. Make sure you've got inventory. We work with all the major distributors in Canada. They will be glad to help you with helping you bring in some inventory. You don't need to bring in a ton, but having some inventory on hand will also be a reminder for you to make sure that you're pitching this to every customer.
Absolutely.
So that's
higher ticket sales, more profit for you with the same amount of customers walking in the door. And again, not trading dollars for anyone else. It's just a win-win for everyone. It's a win for you guys as dealers because you make more money. It's a win for the customer because they're getting it for free, and they're getting a great programming offer, and they're getting an amazing amount of entertainment. And, to be selfish, it's great for Ricky and I as well, because we get subscribers. That's what we're kind of based on. I mean, heaven forbid we get something out of it as well. Everyone wins.
Yeah, it's all about the win.
Again, it's back to me being caring.
Such a caring individual. Ben, I think that's all we got for you.
Hey guys, I got to say that was a pretty in-depth presentation, which I expected. What I really like is seeing the banter between you two, because I mean, okay, I said you guys are product experts beginning. Maybe that was not as accurate as. How about SiriusXM experts? Because you guys kind of do a little bit of everything, and I think you demonstrated that today, Paul.
Yeah, I personally I like just the SiriusXM guy because we are jack of all trades. We do dealer trainings. We go and visit people. I mean, we pretty much are the aficionados. That's that. I like that.
Aficionados.
I like
Yes.
that. That's such
First
a
person
better
to
word.
use the word aficionado on CMA. I promise. I promise you that. I have a couple of notes, if that's okay. If we can circle back to a couple of the things that we learned here today. You know, you mentioned you obviously on the slide where we're talking about your main head unit partners. You know, the Alpines, the Sonys, the Pioneers. There's and you mentioned it, Ricky. There's a bunch of others. I wanted to take the time to kind of highlight a few that I know we've spent time with on the platform here in CMA that definitely are proud to be able to say they offer products that are conducive to offering SiriusXM upgrades. One of those being Stinger. With their high 10 unit, especially in the power sports and the marine categories. I believe
Smith.
Fusion.
Woo.
Yeah, Just Smith, shut up. I believe Fusion as well in the marine side of things. Big brand, especially for the marine dealers out there. And we haven't gone there yet, but I think even Boss is going onto that path. They're announcing something a little bit later this year. So just want to give a couple shout out to a couple of our members that take the time to mention that as well.
Yeah. We have a ton of them out there. And obviously, Ricky highlighted it. As dealers know, you've got just look for the SiriusXM Ready logo on there, and it's that simple.
And if you haven't installed an SXV300 yet, I'm going to speak from personal experience. There's a great video on YouTube you can find. There's an English bloke who puts on a show, step by step, on how to put it in. I watched it. I learned how to do it, and it wasn't that hard. So, I mean, easy add-on from an installation perspective. I want to circle into, you mentioned the best way to have it is A, have it in inventory, but B, demo it, right? Have it playing on the board. So my question is, how does it work for demo accounts for retailers, Ricky?
So I'll speak to only the Canada side, and Paul can speak to the US for US dealers. Very simple. Reach out to your distributor. They have all the forms that are available for store demos. A form gets filled out. It makes its way back to me, and then we'll provide 12 months of complimentary demo service, so that they can. Again, the best way to sell it is to use it yourself and to be able to demo it right there when the customer is standing in front of your car audio wall. So the one thing to think about this, and it's not going to be the same experience everywhere, is getting signal, right? So we know that satellite service, you need clear line of sight to the sky. Sometimes, depending on where you're located, you may be benefiting from the local terrestrial repeater, which is boosting the signal. But there are options. If you want to run an outdoor antenna to your roof, we have outdoor antennas. It's like the size of an extra large coffee cup. Okay, it mounts outside, and you can run an RG6 coax cable into your store, and you can even split it to two different devices. So you can actually we usually offer up to two demos so that they can take a couple of different brands, or maybe a doubled in and a singled in, just to show at least two different options for the customer.
I like the doubled in, singled in option. Gives the both user interface options for them to decide, and maybe it's an upsell because they're like, oh, I like the way that doubled in full screen worked. Well, that you just upsold it based on interface alone, right?
Yeah,
and the demo process. The demo process in the States is the same. You just go through your authorized distributor to get demo service. So no difference there.
And with all the nice floating screens that are coming out into the market, I would highly recommend you take SXV300 and stick it to the back of one of those to really. That's what everybody's going for now, right? They want that larger screen. They want that floating screen. So make sure that you take one of those and have it connected with SiriusXM.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, I mean, depending on the brand, I can't speak for all of them because I haven't played with every single one, but they do a great job on the interface, the album cover, the information. It's just pleasant to work, and anybody knows how to use it. Literally, it's very intuitive.
That's right.
$825 a month for me. That's got to be the best deal I've seen yet. As far as what SiriusXM has put out there, I can understand the appeal for the 3 month because that's been going on for a long time. And the customer might not be maybe any experience or having had SiriusXM in a while, they might take that. I'm going to believe that if you've done all the steps that you've highlighted here, that $99 deal is like very, very hard to beat. I want to comment on something that Paul said about the live video recording for after. I mean, that's something I've said before. That's one of the features I enjoy the most is the videos, the Howard Stern in studio play. Like I just watched the Red Hot Chili Pepper performance in the studio. I mean, I love those things because it's so exclusive. Exclusive. However, to your point of listening to "Pour Some Sugar on Me," Def Leppard 3,200 times on Hair Nation. Yeah, I have no problem with that, Paul.
Oh no, neither do I. It's one of my favorite songs. I have it on Rock Bar, 80s channel. It's everywhere. 100%. It's fabulous.
But to have an opportunity to hear them do a live version, obviously, it's something that we all love as music lovers. You know what I mean? You see Phil Collins doing a different version of solo. I mean, that's what it's all about. So that's a great.
Coincidentally, you can see them doing it acoustically on the video the Howard Stern
acoustic.
Acoustic version on Howard Stern. So there you go.
All right. Let's talk about the sales side of things. You know, at the end of the presentation, you talked about the different sales steps. And I think for me, one of the most important things you cannot skip out on and need to make the most time doing is qualifying that customer. The reason I say that, not only do you want to know if they already have Sirius, do they already listen to it? Are they aware of the programs? Do they know that they can take it in home? Do they know about Pandora? Do they know about Stitcher? But for me, one of the most critical, especially where I live, where do you live? Because if you live in the country, let me tell you something. If you don't have SiriusXM, I don't know what the heck you're listening to, or you know what I mean? It's such a big deal. And of course, this depends on where you are in the country, but qualifying that customer will just put the favors on your side to closing that deal. Ricky, your thoughts?
I agree with you 100%. You know, being in a city center like Toronto or even downtown Vancouver, yeah, maybe your options outside of listening to SiriusXM or other streaming platforms. You know, when you're on just regular radio, you've got so many options available. Mm-hmm. But you know, for instance, if I'm headed up to Sudbury here in Ontario, your FM channel options are limited. And if you're listening, if you're looking for content and if you're looking for variety, there's no better way to do that than by subscribing to SiriusXM.
For that price, what do you have to say about that, Paul?
Well, I would just say, you know, even if you wanted to, for some unknown reason, go ice fishing and sit on a lake and catch fish in the middle of freaking nowhere. Mm-hmm. And there you go. You can have
silly individuals who want to do that. Yeah, no. But it's true. Like there are times where literally there is nothing on the radio. You know, a lot of the country folk, it's great to have SiriusXM, and especially when you could do a Pandora and set up your own station or download podcasts, which I do all the time. And that's going to sort of segue to my final point. You're going to enjoy this, guys. I was listening to Ricky explain the Pandora app and how you can set up your channels and go down and swipe and accept. I mean, really, it's like a dating app for music, isn't
it? Where are you going with this, Ben?
I'm just saying that if you don't want it, you swipe it away and it won't show up again. And you zone in on those that you like. And it's kind of reminiscent of, a dating app. So if you never played with Pandora, that's the best way I can explain it.
It is. I am telling you. And again, I just celebrated my 16th year here at SiriusXM, pre and post merger, and this one feature alone has changed my listening habits and experience with SiriusXM, because that's all I do. I'm a testament to the company because I constantly consume SiriusXM and nothing else. When I'm in my vehicle, I'm on the satellite side only, but I listen to it at home all the time when I'm on the go, when I'm working events with Paul. All they do is use the Pandora stations, and it's tremendous because it's just nonstop, commercial-free music, and just the playlists are incredible. And very seldom do I have to thumb something down, but if I do, I know that option is available.
Paul, I'm going to give you the option to have the final message that you want dealers to know about. If they've made it this far with us today, what do you want them to walk away from this with?
I want if you guys walk away with anything, it's just that, being able to present SiriusXM in it as a whole is key. Some people will say, well, why would I get a tuner if I can just use my phone? And the difference is when you get into a car, it's the simplicity. Ricky just said it. He's got his presets in there, and you just get in, you hit preset 1, and you've got your 80s on 8, hoping that Def Leppard comes on. But at the same time, when you get home, you can just say, Alexa, play 80s on 8, and boom, now you're listening to it. You know,
can I add to that?
Simple.
I'm going to add to that. So I absolutely, personally, love my SiriusXM on my Alexa devices. I have Alexa devices throughout the house. So I can broadcast the station that I want at the time that I want throughout the entire household through Alexa. Better than that, I have now programmed the sequence of my morning routine so that I tell Alexa to start my morning routine. She starts by reading me the news, right? Then tells me the weather, and then plays my favorite radio station, which is Pop Rocks, in the morning. That's my sequence, one command through the whole house.
And you admitted that your channel is Pop Rocks. That's good.
Hey, hold on a second.
Pop Rocks is a great channel.
There's a great channel, Pop. I know.
It is a fabulous channel.
It's
you
not
and all
named
the Avril Lavigne fans are all over.
Whoa, hold on. There's more than Avril in there, and there's nothing wrong with the little Avril.
So just you know, so Ben's morning routine is I hear some like disappointing stuff.
Right.
Well,
get that out of the way.
So it's cold. Okay, we got that.
Yep.
And now we get the excitement of Avril Lavigne, Skater Boy. Perfect.
We like our girl from Napanee. All right?
Yes, we do.
All right, guys.
Paul.
I want to thank you so much, both of you, Paul and Ricky, for coming on with us today, sharing with us news about SiriusXM University, all the different sales steps, and also obviously updating us on the new features through Pandora as well as through the podcast. And I don't think we need to tell everybody about the SXV300 again, but we did, as well as all the great channels. On that note, wish you guys the best on the road. Go see those dealers, get out there in the shows, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks for having me.
Take care, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Want to remind everybody, for more information on SiriusXM, whether you're a Canadian resident or American resident or dealer for that matter, visit SiriusXM.ca/2 ways to save if you're in Canada. That's going to get you to all the information that we covered today as far as the offers go. And if you happen to be an American dealer, make sure you check out SiriusXM.com/save your way. Save your way. Okay. Want to remind you to continue tuning in to CMA Networks right up until Friday, May 27th. We are covering car audio, back-to-back car audio sessions featuring some of the premier brands in the category. There they are. Lots of different brands to learn from, lots of new products announced. Make sure you stay locked in to CMA Networks, as well as our newly revamped website, cmanetworks.com, where you'll find literally hundreds of different training videos of all your favorite brands. Search by them from brand, by category, or even through your favorite trainer. Check out Ricky and Paul's. They have their own profiles on there, cmanetworks.com. That's it. Thanks for tuning in to this CMA workshop presented by SiriusXM about SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.
Stop it. Yo, roll it down. I am.
You don't need a car to listen to SiriusXM. You can listen anywhere. You know that, right?
What? Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio.
Kevin, you could use your phone.
What? What?
Alexa, play Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio on SiriusXM.
What?
This is how I know you're getting old. I guess that was it.
What?